Hey, I'm Todd. Thanks for choosing to watch my video, and if you would subscribe it, like it, all that stuff, that'd be great. Otherwise, enjoy the video, and I hope it gives you the information you need and is helpful to you. Take care.
So I got the unison ring pried off the center section of the turbo here. It's just absolutely jammed up with carbon, and flipped it around and set it into place, engaging these vanes like it normally would. So we have a slot right here which engages this lever here, which is operated through this hole by this oil pressure fed electric actuator. So it pushes the lever inside, which turns the unison ring. Effectively changes the displacement of the turbocharger, which gets you the low end along with the upper end boost pressure. It was stuck, and it's kind of hard to say because of the when it comes apart, everything seems to move, but I believe it was stuck in a shut position like this, which certainly would account for high exhaust back pressure. Well, we'll try to get it cleaned up and let you know how it works. Alright, so what I'm doing is I'm starting out with nothing more than a carbide scraper. And I started by just scraping off all the carbon, a lot of black flaky stuff coming off. This surface is not super critical, but this edge right along here where the unison ring sits, it's imperative to get that clean. So you can see from the video, areas like here look pretty free of carbon until you get to here. So we're just going to keep working on those. Keep scraping those areas until it's clean, and then we'll probably do a little buffing with the 3M pad and see what that gets us. Okay, so like I said, I was going after it with just a carbide scraper and just scraped around the outside of the ring, this part of the turbo where this unison ring sits, and using nothing more than that, removing the carbon that I could see, reinstalled it, and I've got nice movement. I think just to be safe, though, I'm going to go ahead and use a light green, maybe 3M polishing pad, and just kind of buff the areas to remove any small carbon, so it'll delay the buildup again, and clean up all the individual little veins and get all the big chunks of carbon I can out, and I'll show you what I come up with then. Thanks. Okay, quick update. I have it scraped and a little wire wheel brushed the main center section of the turbo housing and the unison wheel, so they do now fall together, move quite nicely. So I think we're set there. And the exhaust housing, I elected to take it after scraping for 10-15 minutes. I decided to take it to a bead blast cabinet, blast beads, and just made it a lot easier to get around the pins, and it did a great job just cleaning everything up and giving me a nice smooth surface to work with. Make sure that you blow everything out thoroughly and then wash it down. It's brake clean. This side is not as critical really because it's the exhaust side. Exhaust comes into it, goes right out the tailpipe. It's not going to go in the motor, but still you wouldn't want high speed blast beads hitting your vanes in your turbo, but it'll probably disappear in the first couple seconds. So this part I struggled with. I went ahead and cleaned all the pieces up, and then trying to decide what to do. Part of me wants to use an anti-seize on it, particularly on this portion, just to prevent it from rusting immediately. And the other part of me thinks it's an exhaust that's going to bake and turn into gum, so I'm trying to figure out what to do. I decided to go with some high temp never seize here just a little tiny bit, just to hopefully keep it from seizing right away anyway. I guess worst case scenario, I'll be in here again. Best case scenario, the soot and oil from the burned diesel will do its job and keep things from locking up again for another 100,000. We'll find out. Time to go back together with it. Okay, I reassembled the turbo, and just a couple things. First of all, I want to show you a picture of how you have the turbo sitting on the bench, the orientation of the clamp. If you lose that orientation, you might assemble it in the truck and it'll be in the wrong spot and get in your way. So I thought I'd give you that. Second of all, just things to mention, that the center section and the compressor or the exhaust side of the turbocharger actually have a pin to index them, so they only can go together one way. The only thing, as you're indexing that pin, you also want to index the pin that rotated the unison plate. They really won't go together without it, but once you do put it back together and get it together, you can see if I can see this. It's hard to see. You can, right there it is. You can see the unison plate in action right there. Pretty hard to see. But you can reach in there with a pick if your actuator is out. That's in place. There's one bolt. It's a 12.5/16 or 8 millimeter right there. But if that actuator is out, you can reach in there with a pick and move that unison plate and feel it all moves free. So you know you've got it assembled correctly.